Hi guys, I posted a video the other day and it was about us trying to be ambassadors of the Philippines. I really believe it's almost a duty or a sworn duty for me to promote the country, to promote the culture. So this is why I wear my Filipino jacket that many of you have seen me wearing, and you can see on this cover photo of this video. I believe that we should all embrace the Philippines, embrace Philippine culture, and particularly right now we should be promoting the country as much as possible. Anybody who's in a relationship with a Filipino or has Filipino family or of course loves the country should be walking ambassadors of the Philippines. What does this mean? Well, for me, if I'm wearing my Pinoy jacket, somebody might ask me, that's a nice jacket, where did you get it from? I'll tell them about the Philippines, I'll tell them about the wonderful tourist attractions in the country, the wonderful beaches, the 7,107 islands. You know, I think it's important to get clued up. I think if possible, read some tourist guidebooks, learn more about the country, learn more about the best places to visit, the best time to go, the best airline in your opinion, where you can book a decent hotel, the cost of hotels, and we should all be like a walking encyclopedia or really a dictionary of everything Filipino. Why do I say this? Because right now it's very difficult for people back home in the Philippines. I know the tourist industry has been really badly affected by the pandemic, like all countries, and I think the Philippines has to diversify. I think people have to find other ways, other creative ways of promoting the country. And so that's why I've said I've become this almost walking ambassador of the Philippines. And somebody asked me a question on a message this morning, because I said in another video I was obsessed with the Philippines. Let me kind of explain that further. Whenever I know that I have a trip coming up to the Philippines, I feel incredibly excited. You know, I'm dreaming about the Philippines. I'm always watching videos on the country. I'm always watching airline videos of planes landing in Manila. I'm almost listening to Filipinos speaking. It's just this sense of excitement I have. And you know, I have to be honest that at times in my life I can get incredibly stressed and incredibly upset with life. And I have to say my greatest passion or my greatest ambition is of course when I'm going home to the Philippines. You know, when I land in Manila, when I get out the airport and I hear people speaking in Filipino and I smell the Philippines. You can smell, if you're going in April, you can smell the summer. If you're going in the slightly after that, you can smell the rain. It's kind of a musty smell. And then you can, even driving in a car, in a taxi, you know, I've got to be honest, just listening to somebody speaking, just being able to practice my Filipino, or looking out the window and seeing these street vendors or people selling their goods on the streets and people walking about, the hustle and bustle. You know, Manila really is a 24-hour city pre-pandemic. There were always people walking about, selling things. People would be friendly. You know, I remember going into 7-Elevens at 2 o'clock in the morning and it's still hustle and bustle, you know, picking up my favorite food from 7-Eleven, be it some siomai or whatever it may be, in the microwave, and then of course buying my numerous Globe load for my phone. You know, whenever I go back home to the Philippines, I always get a Globe SIM card and I always pick up a load, so be it 300 pesos, 500 pesos, and then maybe then I would get an iced tea, is it C2 iced tea? And then of course I remember the buses as well. You know, I could easily travel everywhere by car. I could easily travel everywhere by taxi. But I have to say, I like to go on the buses. So my family are from Pangasinan. So I travel from Manila, probably Cubao, and I catch the 5-star or maybe the Victory liner. And sometimes the journey's 5 or 6 hours, and I'd pay about 350 pesos for the journey. I've got to be honest, I always get 2 seats because I like to keep my luggage next to me and I like to spread out. So sometimes, you know, if I'm feeling in a good mood and the bus is busy, I may give up that other seat. But even so, that seat is then paid for by me. But, you know, when I'm on the bus, when I can look out the window of the amazing view outside of people working on the farm, or, you know, the little houses and people riding on their tricycles with so many people on the same tricycle. Again, this is pre-pandemic. You know, that just fills me with such joy. And when I arrive back home in my province, I really do feel like I'm home. I feel that everyone is a member of my family. So everyone in my wife's barangay is a member of my family, and I feel most at home. I remember going back many years ago where so many people used to call me Joe, and I used to say, like, don't call me Joe, call me Malcolm, because, you know, they are like my family. And, you know, I remember going downtown to the market, and it's really amazing. You can see all the fresh fish and meats and vegetables, and I just find that absolutely awesome. And then, of course, one of my favorite things is to go to Manila. And I love Resorts World. And why I love Resorts World is not because of the casino, but because of all the restaurants, the amazing people there. They're all very friendly. The restaurants are incredible. You know, it's just buzzing. And I love that buzz. And then I've also got to confess, I love the fact, and I'll say this, I love to hear the airline announcement when they're speaking in Tagalog. You know, there's this app at the moment, and there's this DJ that I know, and she's trying to say, welcome to Ninoy Aquino International Airport, we've just landed, and it's kind of fun to hear people speak that way. You know, I think the Filipino accent is really lovely. It has that slightly American kind of twang to it, but it's a calm, a nice, a soft accent. It's uniquely Filipino. You know, when Filipinos speak, they speak with love, they speak with passion, they speak quietly and carefully, and it's hard to put my finger on it. But I'd also say it's a romantic voice, a sexy voice. You know, it's something that's really cute. The pronunciation of Filipino, if they're speaking in Tagalog, is just amazing. It's something that I've fallen in love with. I've fallen in love with the Filipino accent. I've fallen in love with the Filipino culture. And of course, one of the things that I guess is a problem is that I've fallen in love with Filipino food. Over the coming months, I'm intending to visit some Filipino restaurants and go ahead and just eat my way through as much as I can eat, because I really do love Filipino food. You know, I love the adobo, you know, the vinegar, the soya sauce, the meats with the kanin, and then of course you have the ginataan. I love everything with coconut, so manok with ginataan and maybe some chili. And then of course the lumpia is really, really delicious as well. And then don't get me onto that halo-halo and all the other puddings as well. You know, I've got to say, everything about the Philippines to me is absolutely incredible. And yes, if I'm obsessed, I am obsessed. I am obsessed with the Philippines. I'll be honest. I'll be candid now. You know, there are some things I maybe wouldn't say on Facebook because I find that I feel sometimes a little bit embarrassed, or I feel that I can't speak my mind so much. But here on YouTube, I feel that I can say what I want to say. You know, I feel much more comfortable recording a video than I do on going on Facebook Live. And I have to say that I am obsessed with the Philippines. You know, when I walk down the street and I meet Filipinos, I feel happy. Seeing Filipinos in the UK, it makes me incredibly proud. You know, when I see Filipino restaurants here, or even foreigners eating in Filipino restaurants, that gives me a sense of joy, a sense of pride. And of course, when I see Filipinos on television, you know, even in the Olympics, when I saw the Philippines and somebody waving a Philippine flag, I get a great sense of satisfaction, a great sense of pride. And I don't know why that is, because I know I'm not Filipino. And of course I'm not Filipino, I don't even need to say that. But what I can say is that I've fallen in love with the Philippines. I've fallen in love with the people. And I just find it a little sad that some people don't share the same passion, the same excitement about the Philippines.